Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy King James here. All right, so if you've been watching my shotgun series, I've covered a whole bunch of shotguns. I've covered the Hauer, I've covered the Gallo, I covered the Jack, and now I'm doing the VLK Rogue. And in this video, I'm also going to do a quick update on the Gallo and the Street Sweeper, since they're fairly popular, and they were recently nerfed. So I just want to touch on, are they still working or not? I said I was going to do a shootout on shotguns, and I'm still planning on it, but with Season 6, which launches today, there's a new shotgun, which I'll talk about in a second. So I want to make sure I include it in my shootout. So right now I'm probably unlocking and leveling this gun up as this video is delivered. So I want to do this one now, and then I'll do a review and a shootout on all of them then. So stay tuned for that. But let's talk about the VLK Rogue. It's an interesting shotgun. It's definitely slower firing and a bit of a higher skill one. So if you really like that slow pump action sort of you get from the Hauer, but you want something a little faster, maybe the VLK Rogue is a good option for you. And I've got it for you right now.
On top of small.
What?
Or on bottom. Guys on bottom. Oh my god, man.
What a loser.
Shit, I'm in their sights.
Ooh, what happened, dude? That's King James, he's back there. Oh.
Your dick is little.
It's a damn good thing I don't take deathcom seriously, because holy crap, I got called a loser and that my, wee-wee is little. So apparently guys are fairly toxic in Warzone. Gee, who knew? All right, let me show you the video. All right, so one thing about the VLK Rogue is it does hit really hard and it's got pretty good mobility, but it's a slower shooting shotgun. That's the one thing you got to sort of get ready for, and you have to really barrel stuff it. I thought it had some range. Now, I sort of got corrected by Warzone Senior Citizen when he said that, it doesn't nearly have the range that you think it does, and, you got to barrel stuff with it. So, and he was right about that. I found that, I got to really use it close. And you can see sometimes I got one shots off, but to be honest, he probably was low on plates anyway. But when you're up close like that with the Dragon's Breath, dang, the thing hits super hard. So if you're used to barrel stuffing with it just like that, you see there, that was a one shot. He probably had full plates. It's near end game and he had lots of plates on him when he died. So, you can certainly get those one shots, but check this out. Now the mobility with it is good. I can chase a guy who's got an SMG, get around the corner and shoot him, but it took 3 shots there to get him. And that's the thing about it is, it doesn't really have that range. So you're getting into 3-shot territory. That's like an 800 millisecond TTK. So unless you're hitting your shots dead on, you're going to find that the TTK with this thing is not that great if you're having to hit 3 shots. You got to make sure you're hitting headshots, or, you're close with it so that you can get him down. And a couple of times this happened where I would shoot him, but see, I went down and he went down slightly after me, and that's because of the damage over time from the Dragon's Breath. So I actually got to res right here and, got the kill. So one thing about the Dragon's Breath is you get that extra damage. So it can certainly save you if you and another guy go down at the same time. So that's one thing I do like about those shots. And I do recommend Dragon's Breath for this build because the regular one doesn't really impact your mobility all that much. So it's definitely a good build. So let's check out the build on this one right now. So in Season 6, which recently dropped, we're getting the 410 Ironhide shotgun. And they're saying it's going to be a lever action shotgun, high damage at close range with an improved fire rate, and a reliable 2-shot kill with a short 1-shot range. So if you barrel stuff 1 shot, if you're at range 2 shot, should be interesting. So I'm looking forward to trying this out. And once I've got this and I've got it tried out, then I'm going to do a shotgun shootout on all the shotguns and see if I can figure out which one is best. So stay tuned for that. So as you know, I've been carrying a lot of shotguns lately, and you can see I've got the Fari here, I got the Street Sweeper, and I've got the VLK, which we're going to talk about right now. So let's have a quick look at the VLK build, and then I'm going to touch real quick on the Street Sweeper and the Gallo. So make sure you stick around in this video for that and watch it all the way to the end for the updates on those as well. So let's talk about the VLK right now. But just before I jump into that, I want to say thank you to everybody who's recently subbed to the channel and is here watching my videos. I really appreciate all that love and support. So really and truly thank you guys. And if you haven't subbed to the channel, consider subscribing. I'm getting real close to 10,000 subs. I think I'm 9,100 and change right now. So thanks to everybody that's recently subbed. And, if you want to help support the channel, hit the sub button, because 10K is a big milestone as a YouTuber. So it'd be really great if you could help me out and support the channel doing that. All right, let me show you my build. So I'm starting with the regular VLK, and for the muzzle, I was using the choke on some of the other ones, but on this one, I'm actually using the Forge Tac Marauder. I found it worked pretty well. And because I really want the range and the accuracy, because this gun doesn't have a lot of range. So I'm trying to do everything to get as much range as I can. And you also get sound suppression and a tighter pellet spread from that. And the barrel to match it is the Warlord. So it also gives you damage range and a tighter pellet spread. You can see there the range and the accuracy is definitely going up. Now, the other thing this gun really needs is sprint to fire speed. So we're going to get that with the 5 milliwatt laser, which is going to give us hip fire accuracy and sprint to fire. And on all my shotguns now and close range guns, I'm really liking no stock. I don't really care about the extra movement speed. It's not really on this gun. I don't care about the extra movement speed you get from the Raider on the Cold War guns, because all I really want is sprint to fire. So the no stock on almost every gun gives you maximum sprint to fire. Now, for the last thing I'm using, definitely the Dragon's Breath. The regular round is only 12, and this gun reloads pretty fast, so I don't mind being 4 bullets down to my mag to get the Dragon's Breath, which does impact your range a little bit, but gives you quite a bit more damage, and it's pretty fun to use. And you saw it's real useful with that damage over time feature that it has. So definitely going to run the Dragon's Breath with that. And this VLK like this, it's definitely good. Now, it's going to be a higher skill gun, and you're going to have to hit your shots with it, and it's got decent mobility, and you have to barrel stuff. It doesn't have the range that, say, the Origin and the Jack 12 have. So, you know, if you really like getting up close, especially on Rebirth, this will definitely work well for you, and it hits pretty hard. Now, let's check out the Street Sweeper and the Gallo, too, while we're here. So I know the range on the Street Sweeper has been nerfed, and it's only about 5 meters for its first damage range, the same as the Gallo, but to be honest, a lot of your shotgun engagements are pretty well right in that range. And when you're fighting with them, you know, it's not really impacting you. And when you're out sort of in that greater distance, it's going to take an extra shot, which definitely does impact the time to kill. And sort of for the range piece, that's why I really like the Gallo and the Jack for that. But the Street Sweeper, if you like using it, it's got that big barrel and it shoots really fast. It definitely has a good advantage, but that reload speed on it is crazy slow. I'm sure you know about that. But notwithstanding that, it is super strong. So my loadout for the Street Sweeper hasn't really changed. You know, I'm using the Agency Choke for that effective damage range and sound suppression. Hammer Forged to give you that higher fire rate, which really works awesome on this. Ember Sighting Point gives you hip fire accuracy and more effective damage range, which this thing really needs. I use this no stock for sprint to fire, and that 18 round drum, which gives you a bit of a negative on mobility and ADS time, but it certainly makes up for it with that larger drum, considering how slow it is to reload. All right, let's look at the Gallo as well. Now, I know the Gallo was nerfed recently on its range, and a lot of usage on it has dropped off, but to be honest, it's still pretty useful, and a lot of my engagements, again, are right in that range. Watch here, I come around the corner, I swap it, and this guy's definitely in that 5.5 meter range, so it doesn't take very many shots to get him down. And I find that a lot of my shotgun engagements are that close. See here, again, this is going to be within that 5 meter range, and it took a couple of shots there, and he's down. So it's definitely super fast. Right here, same thing. You know, it shoots fast, it's easy to handle, it reloads pretty quick, and even here is a fairly good range, and I still managed to get him down in a couple of shots there really fast. So, you know, does it still work? Yeah, it still works. Have they nerfed the range? It has, but if you like using the gun, it doesn't mean that you need to stop using it, because it is definitely still working. And for the Gallo, I've covered this one as well before. So Agency Choke, same reason as the Street Sweeper, right? Gives you the range and the sound suppression. I'm using the Reinforced Heavy on this one. So it gives you a blend of effective damage range and fire rate. I like the higher fire rate that you get with that. Same as the Street Sweeper. Ember Sighting Point, again, for hip fire and effective damage range. No stock, of course, for that maximum sprint to fire. And on this one, I'm using the 12 round tube. Does impact your mobility a little bit and your ADS speed, but the ADS on this is fast. The mobility is pretty decent. So it certainly works good, and I like having the extra shots in it. So, you know, if you run into 2 enemies, you can definitely get 2 or 3 guys down with 12 shots in the tube. Anyways, guys, that's it for me. Let me know your thoughts on the comment section down below. When I get the new 410 Ironhide leveled up and I can play with it for a little while, I'll definitely run that shotgun shootout and make sure I include that and see if we can figure out which shotgun is the best amongst all of them. It might be tough. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that, but we'll try. So stay tuned for that. And as always, if you don't see me in Warzone, if you don't see me in multiplayer, it's only a matter of time, baby. King James out.